Welcome to episode 11 of the
Really?
Crossfaded Podcast. Yes.
Shit, I had no idea. Well, I'm so glad you're
Yeah.
keeping.
For whatever reason, the last one didn't get uploaded or is still in processing or stuck, so I'm going to have to re-upload that one. But then I'll get this one up and we'll be good. But
It's
yeah,
it's a
11.
holiday week, so things are
Yeah,
slow.
it is what it is.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
double
that's
digits. So,
yeah. Well, the 10 was right,
well,
but
yeah, but we're still there. For another 90 or so, we'll be in double digits. So,
yeah. All right, so we'll celebrate the double
yeah,
digits. Who
we'll
knew
get
we'd
used to
get
it.
this far?
Every week
Wow.
we just get surprised no matter what episode. Hey, we're in double digits.
I always lose track. I have no idea. Like I would have been like 7. I don't know. They'd all blend, so I just
When
throw
I start
numbers up there.
recording, I name it to where that way when I download it, I'll know it says episode 11. So
So is
otherwise,
that
I'll
why
just mix them up.
you roll in the intro with the numbers? Very smart.
Yeah. Well, also, if you look in the top left of your screen, I think it says next to the duck head, I think it says episode 11.
It doesn't.
At least on my screen, it does. It might not on yours.
It doesn't. So that's why I'm always clueless.
All right. Good enough.
So,
Yeah. Thanksgiving.
okay. Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm not very thankful this year about a
No,
lot of
neither am
things.
I. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm thankful we only have like a month and a half left of 2020,
yeah, but the
but we're
thing
not
is,
there
like,
yet. And who knows if we're going to make it? So I'm not thankful yet. I need to
but
see 2021 before I get thankful.
I just don't want like a lot put on the shoulders of 2021 because of the horror show of 2020.
Oh,
So
but it
we've
will.
we've got to ease into it and be like, no, you're all right. You're gonna be fine. You'll do good for us this year, and
We
don't like
need to.
expect a lot.
We need to temper expectations.
Exactly. And just be very calm and nice and patient because it's like
I think
stepping
you're
into a
right.
shitstorm.
I think you're right. I think there is a lot of expectations and hype over
Like, oh,
2021.
January 1st, it's over. No.
Well, here's the plus. Even though I agree with that, I think even if it's a shitty year, it's still going to be better than 2020. So people are going to think it's an upgrade. I
I
don't
guess
think you have to do much to impress us with 2021 because, like,
we
what
just
you're
gotta
comparing it
live.
to,
People just have to stay
right?
alive. And we're like, all right, so far so good.
It's like if you were having sex with 1,000-pound person with
Right?
boils all over their skin, and then
Uh,
a 250-pounder comes up, and
I'm
you're like,
imagining
eh.
it.
But
Oh,
it's
it's
still
lighter.
you're like, hey, not bad. I
It's
can deal with
better.
this.
It's better than the
Right.
1,000. Right.
Yeah, I'm expecting a 5'2", 105-pound Colombian woman.
Right.
If I get a 180-pounder, I'm like, you know what? I can deal with it. You know
It could be
what?
worse. It could be way
Right.
worse.
It could be that 1,000-pound woman I was just with. Right.
2020.
So in 20, which is 2020.
Right. Yeah, no,
So
it's true.
as much as we're hoping and praying for the 105-pounder, we'll be happy with anything under 1,000 pounds. I think is pretty much what we're
We've set our
looking at.
expectations very low for 2021.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So I
so
think
tomorrow,
because of the recent scare in our area,
my theory
um,
is I think they just tell you that so you stay upstairs. They're like, oh, John,
no.
we were exposed again today. So
So the
now you
basic
are.
gist of what happened is my niece's husband, um, his family, his dad's brother or his uncle, is a police officer, and every Thursday evening or most Thursday evenings, my niece's husband goes over to one of his uncle's house, and they have a bonding night where his dad and all of his uncles are there.
All the men.
There's like 3 or 4 uncles plus his dad plus him, and they all just watch movies, drink beer, play games, shoot the shit, whatever. It's kind of their bonding night. So that
That's
happened
kind of cute.
apparently last Thursday, and
Okay.
then on Saturday, one of his uncles, the one that was a police officer, started coming down with very bad symptoms.
Uh-oh.
And was had a fever, wasn't feeling well, was throwing up, all that good stuff. So everyone freaked, thinking we don't know, is it COVID, whatever. So he took a test, but it wasn't a rapid test. Um, we found out about it on Sunday morning, I think it was. Sunday morning is when we kind of found out, and the phone calls were
Without
made.
any warning.
Right, and then so my niece is going apeshit because she's a hypochondriac to begin with. So she's crying, thinking the world's going to end, everything's bad. I'm upstairs just listening because she's talking very loudly on the phone, and so I can hear everything that's happening. I put all the pieces together. She's yelling at her husband like he knew for some
It's
reason.
his fault.
Right. How dare you go see your family ever? Um, and then she's like, that's it. You're not seeing your family again. I'm not seeing my family again. We're waiting until the vaccine comes that we're not leaving the house. And I'm just like, you need to, in my head, because I'm upstairs, everyone needs to calm down. So after about an hour of not hearing any commotion, I go downstairs to pee, get something to drink. And she goes, Uncle John, did you hear? I'm like, yeah, I heard. It's fine.
I
She
heard
goes,
everything.
because I'm like, oh, no, no need to
I
get
know.
into the whole thing. It's fine. She goes, well, since he's a police officer tomorrow morning, which would have been Monday, he's getting, he can get a rapid test. So we'll know probably by Monday afternoon.
So are the rapid
Monday after,
tests? Oh, sorry. Are the rapid tests for
no,
like cops, healthcare workers, and such like that?
yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess it
Because
depends on the
I've never
area. Because I
taken one.
was,
I don't even know what's there.
yeah,
I
I
don't
was
even know
able
if
to
you
get
have
a
to pay
rapid,
for it.
probably not for a government employee, but
No, but like you, how
oh
much
yeah,
was it?
so I $60 when I did it. Wasn't
So
bad.
every time these people though are getting tested and retested and tested, they're paying $60 each time.
Or we're paying it as taxpayers or whatever. I mean,
Okay,
somehow, like
anyway,
if it's a government employee. So I know Joe Rogan has every guest that comes onto his show, he has a company come out and test everybody in the building, like him, his producer, and then the guest, and they get results back in 15 minutes. Like, and that costs like $200 or $299, something like that. But he's made out of money, so it doesn't really fucking matter. But
well, and yeah, if
um,
you're gonna film something, you have to blast everyone first and make sure everyone's okay. So
well, yeah, because otherwise you're doing
totes
everything
gets.
through Zoom. So, yeah, I guess it's a regional thing because maybe some areas have more access to stuff than others. Because I was just as a normal citizen when I went back to Phoenix was able to get it literally as I got off the plane and I went to the place, got it, and they emailed me within 2 hours. Supposedly 2 hours. I think I got around 3.5 hours, but yeah,
So I
email.
guess depending on the need too, they'll set
Right,
they'll.
right.
All right, all right.
Well, you would think. But so he goes to get tested a second time on Monday, supposedly the rapid test. We wait Monday evening, still nothing back. So she makes a phone call and finds out that they didn't have any rapid tests available. So he just took another regular one and it could take a day or two. So now we're Wednesday and we're supposed to find out today. The reason why we stopped wearing masks and we kind of are like okay with it is it was Thursday that my niece's husband was possibly exposed, right? You're going to find symptoms within 4 to 5 days, right? Unless you're asymptomatic. I mean, it doesn't last 2 weeks and then pop up as a thing. So they said the average is between 3 to 5 days. So by Monday or yeah, Monday afternoon, it was like 5 days, and we're like,
No one's
and
exhibiting.
I calmed down. I was like, it has to be a perfect storm because so many things have to line up for anyone in this house to be exposed, like to be hit. So I'm like, here's the deal: no one in his uncle's family, like immediate family, wife and kids, are showing symptoms. No one that was there that night, besides that his uncle, has shown any symptoms, and none of us had shown any symptoms. So I'm like, is it possible that 12 people all possibly got exposed and every single one of them were asymptomatic and not one person got sick? Like the chances are, and by the way, by yesterday, his uncle was already feeling better and everything was back to normal. I mean, what the scary thing is, it's flu season right now.
I
So how
know.
does anyone know the difference? So everyone's freaking out when normally it's just a normal flu.
Oh my
He
God.
didn't have breathing problems. He was just flu symptoms. He felt like shit. He didn't want his aching. He had a fever. He was just.
Well, it's also like allergy sinusy because like I'm a little sniffly, but yesterday I didn't feel well, and I'm like, oh God, but I'm fine today.
Right.
So anytime
It's
now,
always in
like
the back of your head. Like the second you
anytime,
cough.
like
Yeah.
you're like, it's me, But like I've been reading that, like I actually read that an article that they said symptoms, right? They had like
Yeah.
98 of them. Like, so it could
Right.
basically be anything. One was phantom smells.
Yeah, but that could just be someone farting and not
That's what I'm
admitting to
saying.
it.
Feeling irritable. Okay, I got that one.
Well, you've had COVID for 30 years.
Twitching, confusion. Come on, like so far.
That's how you live your life.
Yeah. Yeah, jaw pain. Yeah, I have some TMJ going on. So
Yeah.
like I don't get it. But yeah, I mean, at the time they were saying there was a 98 symptoms so far. How are you going to keep track of
Right.
any of that? There's even one that's like COVID toes. What the fuck is that?
Oh, I've had COVID toes.
But the rest of you are fine?
No, yeah, it was fine.
Your toe sneezed a bit.
Yeah, I had leaky toe.
You kept it quarantined in a sock and it all went well. But no, like some of the symptoms are just so stupid. Like dry, cracked lips. Duh. Like it's winter.
It's winter time.
I know.
Everyone has dry, cracked lips.
They're basically getting everybody nervous, and that's why everyone
Right.
thinks like anything. Oh no, I'm dying. I have COVID, and it's crazy, but it's like
the
I see
antidepressant commercials for like Zoloft, where I had the little bouncing ball, and it's like, do you ever feel sad? Yeah, that's life. Everyone on Earth, everyone on Earth feels sad. Does that mean everyone should be medicated?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel sad? Yeah.
Or you're like low and depressed and lack of energy. Yeah, I don't want to do the laundry. Like don't want to get out of bed. Sure, happens all the time. Like
wait, there's a pill for that? Sign me up.
It's not gonna like unless it's like a spring that pushes me out of my bed.
Right.
A pill is not gonna work. So yeah, no, it's true.
So that was the last few days. So because of that, my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, has decided that because there was a big scare, even though nothing happened. My other niece had just had a baby. She also has a 6-year-old. And then another person of the family, my sister-in-law's son from a previous marriage, because my brother, when he married my sister-in-law, she had a little boy. Now he's 35 or whatever. But anyway, he just had a baby with his fiance, whatever. And they just had one like on Saturday, and they also have a 2-year-old. So there's all these little kids, and everything's like... To be honest with you, it's a relief because I don't think I could be in a house with
another
all
kid.
Those people screaming and crying and
so
running around.
You're not doing anything tomorrow?
No, I think from what I've learned, I haven't talked to my brother yet, or his wife. But
meanwhile, they're like,
from my niece,
he hasn't called us yet, so don't say anything unless he does.
No, what I've gathered from my niece was because I'll go over, stay in the basement, and watch football with them while everyone goes upstairs and does their thing. But I think what's happening is she's cooking a meal where a lot of people are potlucking or whatever. And then either she's going to go around and drop off like a little goodie bag for like a meal for everybody's family, or everyone's got to go there and pick it up and then go. Like she'll have it like in a bag outside the front door step. And
Right.
So, and I'm like, that's fine. My brother's wife isn't the best cook. So when I heard that she was cooking, I thought, well, that's very nice.
Better hope she never watches
it. Because worst case scenario, we'll just order pizza and buffalo wings and have like a Christmas story dinner where we like get Chinese
because it's
delivered.
True. It's like it doesn't
and go fa
like,
ra 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 ra.
Why be fucking thankful. Like, give me a pizza. Fuck the turkey. You know, like,
Yeah.
what does it matter? It doesn't matter. Like cranberry, I don't give a shit.
I don't trust turkeys now either. I mean, a bat gave this to us. You think a turkey's safe? I don't know. We could have COVID-3 coming out.
There's a 2
Well, this is 2.
from SARS.
Yeah, this is SARS-2 COVID-19. The other one was SARS-1 H1N1.
So the COVID-19 is because it started 2019. Is that why?
Yes. Yeah. So COVID is just coronavirus disease.
Something stupid idea. Okay.
CO for corona, VI for virus, D for disease. So
it's stupid.
And then it started in November 19 in China, so that's why they called it COVID-19.
I can't believe that.
But it's also parentheses SARS-2. So
it's already November, and
oh yeah. If there's any plus to this year is that it's gone by incredibly quick. Even though it feels like it's going slow.
I was just going to say, I say the same thing. Like, it's gone by quick, even though every day is the same.
Feels like an eternity. Yeah.
It's Groundhog Day every day. But, like, you know, he's been working from home since March. And it's like, wow, that went by quick. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I can't explain it because we're not doing anything. But I guess it just all blends into TV shows and movies. I think that's what's been saving everybody.
I think it's similar or akin. I like that
Ooh.
word. It's akin to when you're a child and like something traumatic happened and your mind blocks it out. Like if you were molested or beat up or saw your mother get murdered.
You're comparing COVID to a molester.
Yeah. COVID has molested our year.
You're right.
2020 has been molested by COVID.
Murdered, molested, defiled, everything.
Right.
He just took 2020. Oh, you know why? Because there's 2 zeros.
Oh. 2 big assholes.
Hole to hole, dude.
Ripped from hole to hole. So So I think our brains are kind of like blocking out the majority of the year. So it feels like it's going quicker.
Yet,
and
we'll probably need same.
We may need hypnotherapy to remember it, but I don't think anyone wants to remember it. So we're all just going to kind of make believe it didn't happen.
There's not a lot to remember because it's like it's one day that happened 300 times.
Yeah, I can remember exactly what my room looks like for the rest of my life because I've been stuck in it for like 9 months.
Oh, I'm ready to move. I want to move the fuck out of this apartment. We've been in here so long. I just want a new scenery. Setting. I just want to get out. Yeah, I hate it. I hate every time. Like I'll even be looking around and I get pissed off because I'm so used to it being like, ew, why? Ew.
But one thing that is positive, I will say, is the show that we've been watching called The Undoing.
HBO, The Undoing. How good?
So
first of all,
I want to say this. As I pulled up HBO Max probably about a week ago. Looking for good shows after last we had an episode where we were looking for shows. So I was flipping through like their new shows and I saw the thing of Undoing. I didn't recognize any of the actors because the little movie poster thing they throw up, it doesn't look like Hugh Grant and Nicole Kidman. So I was not even sure I didn't even know it was them until I started watching the show and I'm like, wait a minute.
Hey,
where's Sandra Bullock? That's Hugh Grant. And then, because I think they've been in like 20 movies together. And then Nicole Kidman, which, by the way, plastic surgery. She looks so fake.
The title song. Have you listened to it?
No, I can't. No, I skipped through everything.
It's so annoying, and it just doesn't fit with what the.
Does she think she's a singer, an artist now, or?
I don't know. I think didn't she do like Moulin Rouge, and so I guess everyone thinks now that they could record.
Oh dear God.
Whatever. But yeah, so the annoying title song is her.
She's no Pink or Maya, I'll tell you that.
Correct. But it's a 6-part, right?
Yeah, it's a
6-episode limited series.
Limited show. It's a one thing. There's not going to be a second season.
And we've watched all but one.
5.
The last one is going to come out this Sunday. So
this Sunday.
Tell me, you just saw it recently. I saw it as it was coming out. So
Oh,
since you
that's gotta
thought
kill you not being like having to
I
wait week
hate
after
it,
week.
but like every week I just kind of just have to block it out. I get pissed
Yeah.
off. So, but what do you
It's a
so
murder
far?
mystery. It's a
Uh-huh.
murder mystery.
Yes,
It's a
it is.
whodunit type show,
Right.
done very well. And I have to say the acting is superb. I have to give props to Hugh Grant.
The
He's so good
subtle
in it.
the subtleness and just like sometimes not even saying anything says everything sort of like
Yeah.
acting. Yeah,
His
I dig it.
expressions very good. Donald Sutherland,
Jack
A
Bauer's
plus.
dad, always
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Um
I always feel like he's going to be on the phone. Like, I'm going to get my son to come and kick your fucking ass because I want Jack Bauer
remember
to show up.
the some kind of Spanish whore? I liked her.
Italian.
Is it though? Because the husband looks Hispanic.
I don't know if she's supposed to be playing Spanish, but the
Right? Yeah,
actress is an Italian.
She's supposed to be playing a Spanish.
A Spanish, yes, but she doesn't. I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know. She looks weird to even place.
I think the original phrase from Family Guy was she was Italian or some sort of Spanish. I think that was actually the line.
That's exactly
So that's
it.
something we say all the time.
All the time.
So yeah,
but
she does look Italian. She doesn't look Spanish, but or some
know.
sort of a Spanish. But yes, I liked her. I mean, maybe
You
my
don't
eyes
think
aren't
she's-
as critical because I've been cooped up for 2020, and I would fuck a pillow at this point. But I think, but I think. I mean, that could be clouding my judgment, but I like her eyes. She has those crazy eyes that
she's got like
you
dead
don't want
eyes.
to be in a relationship with her, but you know that she would do very dirty things. But so that's
Elena Alves is Matilda De Angelis, is an Italian actress and singer. So
all
let's see.
right.
Do we see how
She thinks she's a singer too. Did she co-sing on the soundtrack?
No, they killed her.
Interesting.
She's her birthday is September 11th, 1995. So she's 25.
95.
And
God, that's
she was born in Bologna, Italy.
Ah, baloney.
But
Nice.
yeah, so she's, I don't know, like these pictures they show. You know what it is? I don't like her hair.
The
It's
short
not
hair.
because she's kind of got a little bit of a round face going, and the short puffy hair only
Yeah.
makes her look like more swollen. But
Okay.
that could always be fixed. I see here she
Yeah.
has her hair slicked and it's reasonable. But I thought, I don't know, she was a little, I mean, whatever. I know you liked seeing her in the
You
in
thought
the
she was a
locker.
little chubby and a little flabby.
What do they say? She
I
has
think
fat.
I think fat flanks and sloppy tits. I think those were your exact words. That she had fat flanks and sloppy tits.
It's true. So like when she's walking around with like her bush all hanging out, like here, her flanks were kind of like, I don't know, they were coming like roundish.
Well, she was very
She's
womanly,
voluptuous, who I guess
voluptuous.
just had a baby, right?
Yeah, it did not look like she just had a baby to me.
Okay. And
But,
you didn't think
hey.
there was sloppiness going on upstairs?
Not much. I actually after that text, I stopped where I was, looked at the time, and then rewound it to that point,
And you
and
paused
then
it.
kind of looked, and I could
studied.
kind of see it, but it wasn't.
Wait, you could kind of
dramatic.
see what I'm saying.
Yeah, well,
Oh, okay,
I didn't
alright.
see the fat flanks a lot, but I did see how one could say sloppy tits. I will say this: I don't think they're sloppy tits. I think they were sloppier than a 25-year-old should have.
All right.
So they were a bit hangy, not unreasonable, but a little unreasonable for a 25-year-old.
Maybe like a 35-year-old.
Right, that's what I would.
But she's supposed
Yes.
to have still be breastfeeding. So
Right.
maybe like they slopped her up. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know how they would do that, like do prosthetic boobs.
The women in the show thought her breasts were fantastic.
Yeah.
I kept talking about it.
I don't get
But
that.
they're also in their 40s, and they were like, they don't want to. Like,
I'm
they're
in
not
my
as good.
40s and I said fat planks and sloppy
Right,
sex.
that's true.
I would have been like, girl, put a scarf on yourself. Like, okay, I get it. You're
Right.
feeding your kid, but I don't need to see your nipple. Like, cover that up. Like, I'm not against it, but I don't want to watch it.
Right.
So, like, and she was creepy about it too. She's like,
At the table. Well, the fact that she was staring in her eyes as she did it was
yeah,
kind of weird.
hated it. And then in the locker room,
Yeah.
she's like all bushed out in her face, like just standing there conversing. Like, the fuck? Put on some underwear, bitch. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
I'd
she
be like,
sits down and she's like, "So, what's up?" And
put a
almost
towel
threw,
down.
almost threw her legs up. It was like, "So, how are things?"
Yeah, when she sat down, I'm like, throw a towel down. Like, that's so gross. But okay, so yeah.
So she was the one who gets murdered.
She's got a haunting like appearance about her, this character.
She does.
But it does well. Like, it works.
So the first episode, I really liked Hugh Grant.
I was going to tell
he
you
looks
too
dry
that
and ashy.
yes, I was going to tell you too that my sentiments were exactly you had said at the first episode, like until the very end. Like, I was like, what the fuck is this even about? Like, it's just a bunch of wealthy white people on the Upper East Side.
Right.
Like, I don't know what they're doing. And then
my favorite thing about a show is not knowing anything about the show and going in completely blind and fresh.
Right. Because what are we undoing? You're like, what is that? You could be undoing anything.
Right.
So, yeah.
So when at the last, like, literally 5 minutes of the first episode, you kind of understand what it's about.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, okay. And then by the end of the second episode, I'm like, I'm hooked. And then
when they found out at the end that she was the victim, I'm like, all right, I could get
it. Yeah. Oh, they killed Fat Flanks? Okay.
Steak night.
I can't remember. I'll have to look back through the text. It was either 11 minutes into episode 2 or 11 minutes into episode 3. I think it was 11. Episode 3. Yeah, 11 minutes into episode 3 or 2. I think it was 3. I'm pretty sure. Because I don't think he was actually arrested till episode 3. So that's when I paused it, because that was the moment that the wife brought the son to go see her husband in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And I love these shows, but it's fairly obvious what they do. They always try to like show certain people in like devious light, thinking, oh, is it this guy? Ooh, could it be this one? And because they show them, like they show the husband of the whore that gets killed, and he always has this angry look on his face, and he's some sort of Spanish, so he looks menacing. And then they have he looks like an angry Spanish.
But he always looks like he's like this.
Yeah, he has that angry face.
He looks like this rage constant. I mean, and I get it, but that's his resting rage face.
Even on, like, in the show when they turn on the news on the show puts a picture of him standing there looking like all aggressive, is like in the husband's now being looked at.
And he's looking at it on TV with the same face.
The same face, exactly.
So, yeah.
So they have that, and then you have Donald Sutherland who mentions, I never liked him. And I'm like, oh, okay. So they do everything.
He could kill anybody. Look at him. Like, that's a given.
Right.
Yeah.
And they show him as a threatening person when he talks to the dean of the school. So they do everything. They even threw Nicole Kidman in because they caught her on camera walking by, and she was like, wait, I don't remember even being, I just walk. I don't. So they put doubt into everybody except for 2 people.
Yeah.
And that's where the whore's son, because he found her, and Hugh Grant's son. And it didn't make sense to me that it was the whore's son. I mean, I guess you could make an argument that he was upset that she was cheating on his dad, but I think it's just the opposite. At that moment, the kid started acting out. I mean, I know things are happening. He sees his dad, and for the first time he breaks down crying, but he puts his hand out And
They're
then Hugh
like
Grant
this,
puts his hands over him like
like this.
this. And then when Hugh Grant pulls his hand away, it's in a fist. And then when he walks away, he waves to his son like this. And I'm like, okay, something had just transferred. And they made a point
No
literally a
touching.
minute before that they show the son watching another couple where they hugged and then they said no touching and then the visit was over. And they showed the son again look and I think like, oh, like maybe that's what I need. Like when I'm done, this is how I'm gonna be able to do it. So he did it. I don't know what he passed. To me, my thought was he passed a note because it was small. It could have been evidence or whatever. This is when I paused it at that point, I thought, okay, I've been thinking the son because it's the only one that they don't point to and it's got to be a surprise.
Yeah.
So I think it could be the son. It looked like he passed something. And then my head said, all right, it's probably a note saying, I did it, Dad, I'm sorry. Because that's what the expression looked when he was crying. So I paused it right then. I texted you. I'm like, okay, I'm calling it. This is my theory.
By the way,
Episode
I'm
3,
so good, right? Like, I'm like,
11
fine,
minutes.
I will not react because
That's
there's
true.
a lot of people that ruin shit for me all the time. And I don't.
It's the worst.
I hate it.
Because
Yeah,
you said, I said, I just saw something. I wonder if it's going to play a role. And you said, what? I'm like, I don't want to say it because if I get a reaction of some sort, it could be bad. And then, so you said no reaction and then a thinking face. And then I said, okay, I'm going to call it this. This is going to be the son, blah, blah, blah. And then you never responded. In fact, and I looked, I'm like, wait, does her not responding mean something? And I looked and it said delivered, but it didn't say read. Because you saw it and you probably saw the first section of what I wrote and thought, oh, wait, I'm going to let it sit. So I thought that was very good. Because when I finally finished through episode 5 and I texted again saying, I'm caught up, you were right there with it. Okay, what do you think? And it was like perfect. So that was good. I will say, I think like it ends episode 5 with my theory being correct. I don't know what that means because it could flip again at the beginning of episode 6. We could have another twisteroonie. I thought that they would reveal
it could be a violin hammer.
I don't think that's the case.
Isn't that how you tune them?
One.
Don't you tune a violin with a hammer?
I don't think that's how it works.
I thought that's why there was a case. Okay, continue.
They use the same hammer in court.
But okay, so
smacking it.
the object was found in the case.
The violin case, yes.
But it was clean.
Yeah, it looked like it was the one they were using in court. I mean, it's been like, what, a month now? I mean, he could have washed it off. He's probably not putting a bloody one in there. It does seem odd that he's kept it with him and not hidden it for all this time. That is weird.
The case wasn't particularly hidden. Like, it wasn't yeah.
I mean, it's been zipped up, but it shows
it's
that
still
you can't
there.
put it doesn't look like you can fit the hammer and the violin in the same case, which means that for the last month, he's been carrying around a case and his violin and never putting his violin inside the case, which is weird. But the kid looks surprised as in, oh shit, she found it.
She found out, right.
And I don't see how someone could have hid it there without him knowing it all this time. Unless it was just put there literally like that night. And the only other person in that house is Donald Sutherland. And I think that they've hinted at him being evil enough that it would be too obvious.
Like, you don't even have to hint at him being evil. Just look at him. No. He's scary. Like, I'm like, oh my God, he would kill me too.
The only twist that would make sense to me now is that they've cast out on every possible person now, even the son, that it's going to be one of those. Wasn't there like a movie with Anthony Hopkins and Ed Norton where he was like, he thought he was innocent, and he kept pleading it, and he finally got out, and the second he got out, it turned out he was the killer and he killed again. Like, I think it could be that double twist where they put enough doubt on everybody that if they came out and said it was Hugh Grant who did it, I would be just as shocked. Because I'd be like, oh,
I don't even know at this point if they're going to show how that night of that, like, everybody had some small part of either
It's
seeing
like
it,
Clue.
yeah, tampering it, like
Yeah.
running out, like so
Like
because
Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah,
it's just
everyone did
weird
it.
because her art studio is where did they say it was? Like in Harlem or something? And like I don't know how she's walking from the apartment to where
Yeah.
that's a long walk.
And by the way, the outside of the art studio says barber shop on it.
Right, that
Like,
too.
what's
Like so
that
what
about?
yeah, I don't know if it's just like her secret place or whatever, but
Maybe some guy at 2 a.m. walking by going, "Hey, I need a
hey, I'm gonna get
haircut."
my hair cut. Yeah, let me use this hammer.
Murder someone. Yeah,
But it's weird that she's walking by because
it
logistically,
is.
from where she lives to where that studio is, it's a long walk. So
The only thing I would say to
everybody has
that,
passed by that place that night, basically.
the only thing I would say to that, if why I don't think it could be her in the slightest, is the entire show is basically shown from her perspective.
Yeah,
Like we're watching the show from her perspective the entire show.
yeah.
Like so if
Well,
we
yeah,
hadn't
and
seen it,
she
then
called
she's
911 when he showed up at the cabin. So I just, she's protecting her
yeah,
kid, you know,
yeah. I think
which
yeah. At this point, I'm curious to see if she's going to let. She can't call the cops on her son, right? She wouldn't do
right.
that.
Is that me or you?
Sorry, no, it was me. I just
Um,
need a text. Hold on.
so yeah, I was wondering that too. So if it all is said and done and it ends up like it's this kid, what are like
Yeah,
it makes sense that the dad would be willing to take the fall for his kid, but also the fact that was brought up that he was a sociopath, his mother said it, then you're like, oh, maybe it's a little sociopath here too, and they've got a thing
right.
going on
Yeah,
and they're helping each other, you know, or the grandpa could
yeah.
be
Maybe
helping the kid.
the dad and son are bonding. It is a possibility that it was a dual thing, like they did it together,
Or one walked in on something and then
and then the dad's covering for the son
or
without letting
whatever.
his
Yeah,
wife
like that there
know.
was two people involved that either walked in and just helped or whatever, help cover it up or try to help I don't know.
By the
It
way,
was
that
dumb
text, that phone call, which I ignored, um, the text is that
negative.
the COVID text is negative. Yeah, which I knew, but yay. Um, so yeah, I'm still going with the sun because that's what I thought the entire time. It looks like that's what it was. One of two things had just happened. Either they were cliffhangering the last episode with the reveal of who did it, and then episode 6 is all about the decisions that the mom and dad have to do. If are they going to turn their son? Are they going to let the trial go through and take the risk of the dad going to jail? Are they going to hide it? And then how do they live on as a family? Are they going to keep like Hugh
I
Grant's
didn't know if they
obviously?
were
I
going to
don't think
show
it's
it from the kid's point of view though, like and see like how it
how it actually
fleshed out
happened.
for in his mind.
Yeah,
You know, like they
and
might
that's
do that.
fine. And I think we're. I mean, I think how I believe it's going to happen is that they revealed it at the end of episode 5. Episode 6 is all about the dealing with it in the wrap up in the trial, and that'll be it.
But you
Or
did oh.
what worries me is that again, I don't know if I were making this show, do I reveal the killer at the end of episode 5 or do I reveal it within episode 6 at the very end? Like the usual suspects with Kaiser Sose at the with at the very end of episode 6, like there's that twist. Um, I would go for revealing it in episode 6, which makes me wonder: is this just another red herring? Or are they kind of saying, "Oh, look, it's probably the kid," and then all of a sudden there's gonna be like, "Oh, bam! It's really this over here." Like
Because
that's
the thing is
possible.
too, if it's the kid, it was at least like 9, 10 o'clock at night. Oh, what?
There is another possible way that the hammer got there, and that it is someone else. So who did I say was the last the only two people that they didn't put suspicion on. Hugh Grant's son and the whore's son. The
Yeah.
whore's son goes to school
With the
with that
kid.
kid where his bag is available.
Yeah.
So that day,
I was
he
wondering
could have put
that
the hammer
too.
inside the bag,
Saying
zipped
like,
it up.
fuck you, you're going to get in trouble for it.
Remember when he bumped into him and the kid just kind of looked at him like, fucker, don't
I was
talk to
going
me.
to say, yeah.
I mean,
They
it's not
were-
like he could have like
They,
pickpocketed, like sleight of
they
hand
did
it
come
into
in-
his pocket.
but still, they
But-
showed an interaction to make you believe there could be another, like that they're, it's not like that huge of a school that they're not going to see each other.
Right.
And
then
are they
why
in the
would
same
kid
grade?
know right off the bat? And it can't be the first time that the mom spent the night painting. Like,
Right.
why was it so weird that he, instead of getting on the school bus, he ran there?
Like, yeah, why was he so concerned? He didn't
And he ran there. Yeah. Because if someone has a separate place where she gets away, according to the husband, where she gets away to do her thing and clear her mind, there had to have been many times where she stayed the night there. Obviously, if she's fucking Hugh Grant there too, she's probably done it multiple times because the husband didn't seem concerned about it. Oh, your mom's not home again, so hurry up and go to school. Okay,
Right.
no problem. So today I'm going to run over there?
right. And he
So
said your mom's didn't come home like again, that it's happened before. So
Right.
the kid, maybe the kid, you know how like his Hugh Grant's son, how he saw him outside of the school with the mom. Maybe the kid also was
Saw
like
the same thing.
the same thing. Yeah.
Right. And instead of being a little perplexed, he just
He's
gets enraged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's what's going on. That's why she's not home, you know. And I don't know.
And probably didn't even know it was the dad of that kid. Like, I don't think it was anything against that kid.
No.
But once they knew that the heat was on that family, he's like, well, I can't hold on to it. I need to get rid of it somehow. So at school, I'm going to put it in my backpack. And then when they're not looking in band class or whatever, I'm going to open it up and put it inside there, close it up. And then,
But then
the only
what's he
thing that
doing
is
with his
still odd to
violin?
me-
Yeah.
yeah, unless he carries it around. It is weird.
It is a
but
bit
it's still
heavier.
plausible. Yeah.
Mm,
At least one side would be heavier than the other side. But
it could be,
it's plausible because you know
Yeah,
how
it could be
shows
that
are
maybe-
never perfect. There's always little plot holes in there like, well, that doesn't make sense, but
and they
that's the
have
way they
shown
could
him
do it.
carrying though a backpack. So I mean, maybe that's heavy and just throwing one more. I don't know, but yes,
Yeah.
the interaction is there.
Well, the big
they-
thing is like, why do they keep showing the son? Why do they keep showing, like, the horse son has never once said a word in the entire
know.
show except when he was talking to, I think, the police when he said
When
yes
they were
or
doing
no,
the-
and that
yeah.
was about it. He was also traumatized when Hugh Grant came over to his apartment afterwards, and he had to go
Right.
and put his headphones on. So he was very angry about that whole thing happening.
Well, his dad
Um,
told him to go
yeah.
put his headphones on.
Yeah, but it's got to be traumatic that, this guy, that the reason why you killed your mom and was pissed off at her is because of this guy.
Who
It's
saved
a
your
little
life.
odd that he didn't try to kill Hugh Grant, but maybe he was just
Oh,
like,
but the mom seems like maybe she's done this before. So maybe like
well, that in the fact
he's
that
like, now
she
this,
was
like-
obsessed. She was, I mean, I think it is true that she was obsessed with Hugh Grant.
yeah, because
and
the
his
way
wife
she was looking at Nicole
and the
Kidman,
painting, and
yeah,
the whole
so
thing.
creepy.
Everything, and so maybe the son saw, like, and probably talked about it even at home too, like, oh, this guy, and I'm painting, and like he's the best, and he might be your new daddy, and blah blah blah, and the kid's probably like, Mom, you're fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to murder you.
I
So-
could see that though, because you could see that the boy sympathizes with his dad. Like
And
he
here's
sees
the
that the
other
dad's
thing,
stuck
too.
with the kid, and the dad has to go to the trial, and he's getting the shit end of the stick, and like he feels bad for him because
The only thing that bothers me about Hugh Grant's son doing it, that is always kind of the one doubt that's put in my mind through my entire thought process, is Hugh Grant's DNA is there because he came in her, an honor or wherever, which he admits.
he
The
admits.
dad's DNA is there, but that was it. There's no Hugh Grant's son DNA anywhere there. Which, is he smart enough to put on?
Yeah, are they
a
like
fucking
putting on
hazmat
gloves?
suit?
Right, exactly.
So, but because the son found her, it's obvious that if his DNA is there, it's already explained away. Oh, the son was there. He found her. There's a little bit of his hair and skin there. Not a big deal.
But
So, and if his shoe print was on it, or whatever, like that kind of stuff, it's to me, it's obvious.
you brought up too about what's her name? Her friend, the blonde lawyer chick. I think
Oh, that's a
I
weird one.
think she was banging Hugh Grant because he
Yeah,
admitted to doing it before because she was also his
and
attorney for
refused
the
to say the
sexual
name.
harassment suit,
Right, right.
right? So like there's
So
some
there's
sort of
that.
connection there because I mean, of course, lawyer attorney client privileges there, but still for her to be in the dark being like, dude, like she had no idea that she represented him until she said it, and
Right.
that was like, okay,
And that's
well,
her best friend had never mentioned it. So that's weird. The other thing that I think was extremely weird, and these are things you have to pay attention to in shows like this. The black lawyer, the shark, the
I like her.
yeah. I like how she explained the fact that I can't fix your life. All I can do is get him off. That doesn't mean he's innocent. All it's
Right.
going to do is create muck. And he goes, so that's what I do. So if you
Right.
hire me, the only thing you're going to get is a lot of muck, which is
Right.
like you're still going to have to deal with all this
Right.
afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
So
And
that
she's
that
like,
that
but
was kind of
until
cool.
then, you have to act like you like each other. Like she's
Yeah,
schooling them hard for the sake of winning the case. I don't even
right,
know in her mind, she's probably like, this motherfucker did it. Because he's an
right. She
arrogant
doesn't
ass.
care.
His
He is an ass,
personality is like an arrogant narcissist, the sociopath, all that
which you
because he
don't
has that
see in the
God
first
complex.
two episodes.
No, you don't. But the fact that he lost his job for like 3 months. His wife didn't know. And then when she went to go talk to the doctor at the hospital, who was like his best friend or he'd known for a long time,
Yeah,
he said he was like, he was an asshole. He didn't stop, even though he knew he can get everybody in trouble, whatever. So
yeah. I think the
he's a
first
little
two
bit,
episodes you're seeing Hugh Grant through the wife's eyes,
yeah. And with his
and then
family
you don't
only.
see the other side of him, like outside
Like
of the family, until
we only
episode
see
three
him
and four.
at work too when he's talking to the kids. We don't see him
Right.
anywhere else. So God
The other,
complex, total dick
yeah.
and
There
ashy.
are a couple of things that were odd. One, when the black lady was like, "All right, so how many times have you cheated?" He's like, "That was it," and she goes, "I'm gonna find out." He goes, "Well, it was only one other time, and it was a while ago, and that was it." And she asked for names, and then they glossed over it. He never says who it was, and then the lawyer never brings it up, which is odd. Which means I assume they talked about it off camera,
Mm.
but it seemed like a very important thing that was never brought up again. So that made me think it was the blonde friend. I mean, that makes the
Because
most sense
they
to me.
show her enough to keep her in because like all the women that were at that stupid table when they're having the meeting out of all her friends, this is the only one that keeps show. She was the one she called. She was the one
Yeah,
that showed up to court. They even showed her with her stupid kid in ballet. Like I
right.
didn't know why
Constantly.
they were making a
Also,
point to keep her in it,
right, and
but
also
far enough.
at that table when
Mm,
they were first kind of you met them all. She was the one that was doting over
boobs.
Nicole Kidman's husband. She's like, "Oh, he's a doctor. He's in the papers. He's like very well known," and kept
She was
talking
sa-
like that.
she was saying it to
The
the girl,
Hispanic, the
yeah, who
Spanish girl.
already knew that,
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, I know. Yeah. In
because at that
fact, you
point,
know what? You know this boob right here?
yeah.
His daughter and him sucked on the same tip. So let's just
Exactly. Like, see, like I think the last episode that they might go back and then break down each scene to show you the little things that like built up that you're like, ah, shit,
you
yeah,
know it's I almost feel bad for the Spanish, and here's why. She might have been crazy, right? And she might have been obsessive,
and a little
but it
slutty.
seems like once she tried to get into his life through her, she realizes that Nicole Kidman was actually not like the rest and was actually really nice. And she even cried and said, "No, you're different from the rest. You're really a nice person." And that's when she cried and said, "I'm sorry," and left. And the next time we saw her, she was dead. So it
Mm,
was almost like she was probably going to back off. And then that happened, like looking back.
mm-hmm,
The other
mm-hmm.
thing that I never brought up that has bothered me a little bit that
Go on.
they brought up once and then never talked about it again. Which, to me, if I was Nicole Kidman, that would have been one of the first things I asked my husband Hugh Grant when I saw him next. When Nicole Kidman talked to her dad opens up about how he had come for him for money, and she said, "How much?" And he said, $500,000, $500,000, which was only, I mean, he's only been out of work for 3 months. So this had to have happened a month and a half ago.
Mm.
And where's that money? What did you use it for?
It was 500.
$500,000.
I remember. I remember it was,
Sutherland.
And he had said, "Oh, for tuition and stuff, right?"
Yeah, but tuition's $50,000 a year for
I know, but
no matter, even if like their house was $25,000 a month, which who knows in New York, it's possible. I don't know. I just don't think so. But yeah, whatever.
No,
you're not, in 3 months, that's 75,000. Where's the other $400,000? What? Because the reason he only had a private or a public defender is because he didn't have money. Where is all that money? He wasn't putting up the Spanish in a really nice place.
No.
He wasn't really,
I mean, even if he was paying the lease for the barber shop, that wasn't a nice place. That's not even enough to put a dent. Yeah.
No. So if he didn't have money, where did it go? And if she says he drained money out of my bank account, which she had said to her dad, he goes, how are you strapped for money? She goes, I'm fine, although he did like drain some of our bank account. She said some of our bank account. So he had taken probably $100,000 out of there minimum, borrowed another $500,000. Like, where's all this money going? He hasn't done anything. He's only been out of work. It
could be the lawsuits, and maybe he had to pay. I don't know.
Why is she still living in squalor?
Who?
I mean,
Spanish?
The Spanish.
Oh.
Look, because when he went over there, they were in like a tiny little shithole.
Yeah, but maybe it's lawsuits like from the hospital because he was fired for, like, maybe the hospital is the one. I don't know. Like, maybe it could be another lawsuit because he's a dick.
True.
Is that beeping me?
It just bothers me. No, it's someone backing up out here.
Oh, okay.
To me, it's just weird that they don't address it again. He brings it up. It's never addressed. If I was Nicole Kidman, and then when he said it, she was a bit shocked, but then, okay.
Yeah.
Then she asked him to pay $2 million for bond, which is kind of crazy, but whatever. And when she sees him again, she doesn't go, what did you do with the $500,000 you borrowed from my dad?
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's not no matter how rich you are, it's not an insignificant amount of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if he said 50,000 or 100,000, it'd be like, well, all right. But $500,000
tuition, mortgage, whatever.
Lot.
Yeah. I don't know.
So,
maybe there's other people he's paying off. Who knows? It's something like that.
That's something I need answered because that bothers me.
Now, do you ever go back and rewatch?
Yeah, I have.
I like doing that.
Different shows. I did that with Game of Thrones. I did it with.
I figured that.
I think True Detective I rewatched. Night of I think I rewatched.
Mm-hmm. Pretty Little Lies is like this one. You'll like it.
Yeah. Is that the Reese Witherspoon one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Isn't she like besties with Jennifer Aniston?
Well, they're on that Apple show. That news. Yeah. They have a series on Apple.
I watched like one episode of that and thought, this is stupid. It's not good.
No, it's good. Steve Carell's in it.
I know. I like him. That's why I watched it.
I
only watched one episode. You know why? It's because here's the problem with John.
Would this be?
I know that there's 1,000 problems with John. This is a problem with John. If I see a show that is like medieval type thing, I'll immediately put it up against Game of Thrones in my head. And after like an episode or two, if it doesn't like stack up, I'm like, okay, this is stupid.
Okay.
Every cop show I watch, right? This is why I can't even remotely get into CSI or NCIS. I think the acting is absolutely horrible. They're all predictable. It's because I've seen The Shield, and The Shield to me is like the pinnacle of cop shows. The
The
Shield is
Paragon, would you say?
the paramount, or we can say Paragon as word of the day.
Yes, as
Um,
a perfect example.
right. I know The Wire is widely seen as the best cop show ever. I do really like The Wire. I think The Shield is the best. So when
But
I see
it's
a
more
cop
of that
show,
gritty stuff. It's not that network stuff.
right,
Yeah,
Vic Mackey,
I get
I
it.
was surprised by The Shield because it was on FX. But Vic Mackey, I mean, that guy, he's up here. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
No, I get it.
So when I see something about like the news thing, I saw The Newsroom. I don't know if you ever watched The Newsroom. It is insanely good.
Did
That's the
I?
one with Dumb and Dumber, not Jim Carrey, but the other one. I forget
Oh,
his name. The
Jeff
blonde guy. Jeff, yeah.
something, something.
Jeff Daniels, yeah. So
Yeah.
he's the main guy in that, and it has Olivia Munn in it, and that makes me happy. And it's got a couple of guys that are character actors that you've seen in a bunch of stuff, but
Oh, I
I
have
don't know
seen
their
it.
names.
Aaron Sorkin, the
Yeah,
West Wing guy, did it.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
And it got an
So
Emmy. He got the Emmy for it.
yeah, like the Newsroom is the best news show I've ever seen. So after an episode, because I was excited, I'm like, oh, it's on HBO, just like Newsroom was, or no, I'm sorry, Apple TV. But it was, I'm like, this is maybe if this is another Newsroom, this is gonna be fantastic. And I watched like one episode, and I was like,
No,
ah,
this is more scandalous. This is like Matt Lauer, how he
yeah, I
like,
know it's though it was started from the whole Me Too thing.
right.
Um,
So
but I don't know, it just didn't. I
it
only saw one
saddens.
episode. I need to give it more time,
You do.
but
What do
like
you have to lose? You're not doing anything.
the first 15 minutes of The Newsroom was so gripping. I was hooked after it has that famous scene that has been seen for years on YouTube, is why America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. Remember that whole thing
I don't.
when Jeff Daniels is on stage and he gives this whole explanation of why America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. It's honest. It's literally the very first scene of the first episode of The Newsroom.
Well, that
And
was a
after
long
the
time
first
ago.
15-20 minutes, you're just like, holy fuck. And then from that point, you're hooked. There's none of that in the first episode of, so I just kind of get meh. It's the same reason why I haven't watched Dexter. I can't get through the first episode. It's too boring. Now, everyone says it's amazing, like after you get like 3, 4 episodes in, and for seasons, it's
Amazing is a
good.
strong word. It's good.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But
I've
the
seen
very
so
last
much good
season,
tele.
they
Yeah.
ruined it, and it's not like then you end up being pissed off. Like that was a whole waste of time.
I've seen so much good television
Oh,
that,
have you?
oh, yes, I have.
I've seen so much good television,
Well,
not like the regular
the quality
people.
of TV shows have been so good for the last 10 years
Yeah,
that seeing something that's mediocre is
just
that would have passed as being amazing before is now kind of looked at as like meh. And that's why, like, and I know this is blasphemous to say, and you'll probably hate me for saying this,
I already do, so don't worry.
right? The show I'm about to mention has been widely seen as like one of the best shows ever. And it
Dementia?
took me forever to get into, and I finally watched it. And
I don't know what you're talking about.
it's not a bad show. I like the show, but the hype was way more than the show, and I don't. It wasn't my favorite show, and I thought it was okay. I mean, it was
What?
good, but it
What?
wasn't Breaking Bad. I didn't think
Oh,
Breaking Bad was amazing. I thought it was okay. It was
okay.
good. I mean, watched it, but it wasn't. I mean, it had Jessica Jones in it, but whatever.
Yeah, for a season. I didn't know that. Well, you know what it was? That was done really well, and the cinematography was really good. So there was a
Yeah,
lot of things that played into it being awesome. And the
I
fact
think the
that it's
main thing is that
Hal from Malcolm in the
yeah,
Middle is awesome. So,
I think the big thing for me was I didn't watch it when it was on. I watched it 8 years later, like after the whole thing was over with. I started watching it. I
oh,
think
so
at
you
the
came off
time,
of all this hype.
Well, right, exactly. So everyone talked about I have to watch the show. I have to watch the show, and I think at the time Breaking Bad came out, it was one of the very first shows of its kind. It was very shocking. It was like the Shield type thing for cops. It was like, oh my god, I can't believe this is on TV because that was like on FX or USA or one of those shows, right?
Well, I have to say though that I thought Breaking Bad was awesome and Game of Thrones was good.
Oh, them's his fighting words.
So I know how you like are all with your maps of dragon places and stuff. So
Right. No,
it's a
I get
matter
it.
it's a
I get it because
matter
people are
of
interested in different things. It's a matter of
right,
taste. I
right.
think I would have been way more into it if I saw it at the time. I think after the fact that it wasn't shocking to me anymore because so much other similar, not similar, but shocking television I'd
Had
seen
come
since
after.
had come after that I had seen before watching Breaking Bad. It wasn't
You
as
saw
like,
the whole thing through to the
yeah,
end?
yeah,
Okay. You didn't think its
yeah.
last episode was the best finale series finale
Ooh,
ever? It
that's
closed
tough.
up everything. It closed up
No, I know.
everything. Not a lot of shows can do that.
Hmm. And I usually hate shows because of that.
What?
Like I won't even get into Lost. That was such a clusterfuck.
Yeah, I didn't even. I heard too
Um,
much to not want to
yeah,
watch
and
it.
Sopranos I liked, but the ending, I
Eh.
wasn't as angry at the ending as everyone else was, but I thought it was fine.
I wasn't either until the next day. I'm like, what the fuck are people talking about? I'm like, it's just basically the end of the series, but they're going to continue going
Yeah,
on
it's just the
doing their
camera shut
thing.
off while their life is keep going
Right.
on. It
But it's
can't go
gonna
on
go,
forever.
yeah. It didn't mean,
Yeah,
oh, black screen, he's dead. Shut up. You know, like, come on. That would
yeah,
have been too obvious. But I didn't particularly love that the Game of Thrones that they fucking sent Jon Snow away.
I get it. Well,
That
the
was dumb.
showrunners fucked
His
up the
brother
last
was,
episode. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, and they rushed the last season, I feel like, and
they
jammed
did.
everything in
It
all at
should have been 10
once.
episodes. Yeah, it's
But they covered a
they
lot when
they
some
did.
seasons were like, it was stretched throughout where it kept you, you know, kind of into it. But then the last one, they're throwing everything at you. And you're like, all right, whatever. Bram the
Yeah, it turned into
Broken, it
like a
is.
Michael Bay season where everything's just exploding.
But it's like, yeah, he
Um,
sent his brother away. Like, okay, bye. Like, I'm
right, exactly how a
like,
normal thing would work.
right.
They don't
Like,
have cameras or email. Once
no.
he's left on the ship, he's never
Yeah.
coming
He
back.
might send like a pigeon note to be like, how's it going? Is your brother still in the ice wall? Yeah, sure he is.
Sure, yeah. The one that crumbled and is not really even there anymore. Sure, he's
Yeah,
still there.
he's not allowed to have children. Yeah, he doesn't.
Sure.
You know, like, okay, whatever.
Um,
So
yeah, I
it's
get it.
a
So
varying
predictions,
opinion.
predictions for the undoing. What's your finale prediction?
I want, I don't know, like, I go back and forth, but I want to say,
It would be
if,
creepy if they all became a family again and just kind of went on about their life like as a family. That would be really bizarre.
well,
But
the
that would
only
be
way that can happen is if it's the whore's son.
not necessarily. It could be their son and they don't give him up to the police and they don't say who actually did it. And then, like predicted, Hugh Grant gets off because there's
He didn't do
reasonable
it.
doubt.
Right.
And because of that, he can't be tried again. And there's no evidence pointing towards the son because, of course, the parents are going to hide it. And they could just go on thinking, oh, I've got a psychotic son.
Just
And the
like
dad's like,
how he was with the sister being killed.
right.
Like, yeah,
And
could
then
be.
he probably has like more sympathy for him because of that. And then,
We've
but
just
then
had
the
to keep
wife
it.
might be a little
They'll be
freaked
like,
out by
we
it.
just have to keep an extra careful eye on this one from now on. She
Right.
seems like she's got a conscience, though. I don't know. So, but her
But it
dad
is her
doesn't,
kid, though.
and
It
her
is her
dad
kid.
doesn't. He'll yell at her and
Right.
make her.
Well,
So,
the Donald's probably like, it's fine.
yeah.
We don't say anything. This is family. This is my name and reputation. We're not saying a fucking
And
thing.
I love how he just casually like just chills in museums and just stares at like they find him a couple times just sitting on a bench like in a museum, like
looking at the same picture.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I love the fact that he threatens people without overtly threatening them.
Well, his looks, my God, they're menacing on its own. Like, I see him and I'm scared. I'd be like, okay, he's threatening that guy. The kid is not getting kicked out of his school. He doesn't want. He doesn't want the wrath of this guy. My God. But you say
I say it's one of the two kids.
The kids, yeah.
It's got to be one of the two kids. That's my prediction.
My backup runner-up thing would be the friend, because she has been. But what do you? Why you don't agree with that?
I would say it's Hugh Grant's son. The backup to me is probably the horse son. I think the surprise thing to me is if it was Hugh Grant. But I don't think that's the case, because even though that would have been a cool like twist again, they're putting a lot more doubt into Hugh Grant as this last episode is going up about how he is a sociopath, how the mom confirmed that he had no feelings about what happened, which makes you think, oh, it could be him.
Yeah, he could have no thoughts.
Why would they all of a sudden throw it at us like that? Because they wouldn't hint at it first. So I think it's one of the two sons. I'll go with Hugh Grant's son, but the backup is the horror's son. I do think something has to come up or come out of the blonde.
Yeah.
Like maybe he gets off, they protect the son, they tell no one, and they try to become a family again. And one of the last scenes is Hugh Grant goes off to work or to do whatever, and then goes to the friend's house.
Her house.
Banging the friend again. And then it's like, oh, like he hasn't learned his lesson. He's still a fucking crazy person.
Horrible.
And then the son, and it ends with the son kind of like seeing them together on the street, and then just starts sitting there like hitting his hand with the hammer.
Right, like, looks like we got to do another one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's learned their lesson in this family. So. All right, well, we'll have to see. Yes. And luckily it's Sunday, so it's not that far in advance.
That is true.
So, yikes. Awesome.
I did see the first episode of His Dark Materials, and episode 2 just came out, which I haven't watched.
I can't find that. Wait.
It's
thought
HBO.
I looked. Yeah, who's in it? It's his dark?
Yeah, I don't know the names.
What's Golden Compass? The Golden Compass?
That is it. So, His Dark Materials is the series of books, the name of the series of books. And they made a movie called Dark Compass, which was one of the books. This is a show that's kind of retelling it, because everyone said they fucked up the movie really bad and they did a bad job on it. So
but if I search, I'm searching for His Dark Materials.
His Dark Materials on HBO.
The Golden Compass, His Dark Materials is on HBO. Okay. All right. Yeah. I was looking for it just under His Dark Materials. I didn't see that. I did try.
2 came out.
I tried the Good Omens or whatever, and I couldn't.
Yeah. No, wasn't it?
Like the first, I think we did like 20 minutes, and I'm like, and I like Jonathan so much, I can't do it. So,
yeah.
That might. I mean, you never know.
I would say the first.
I may roll back
was a little bizarre for me. It was a little bizarre for me the first episode, but then it gets better and better and better, and it actually gets really good.
All right, I may roll back into that one.
Yeah.
COVID causes us to do certain things with TV.
Yes.
I'll go for second, third rate, whatever at a certain point. So
once you run out of material.
Yeah. So I'll check that. And what else? I don't think we saw anything good. Have you thought of anything like as far as cult names? Anything? Not even any ideas? Nothing? It's okay.
The word of the day today is in the right direction. Like Paragon, Paramount. Those are types of words that I think we're getting there. It's a very
pantheon.
Yes, very high up, exalted
Okay, all right.
things. Like
We're in
yeah,
the
we're in the
realm.
right direction. We're
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
we're there. We're in the right direction.
All right. That's
Um,
good enough.
other than that, I think that's about it.
Uh,
Ooh, dropping the pin, dropping the mic. Urgh.
so a COVID Thanksgiving tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, that is tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep. We have reservations to go
It's
to.
not even a real thing. You got
No,
a
we're
reservation
going
where?
uh going to Cut Wolfgang Puck. It's at the Four
Oh,
Seasons
cool.
right here. So we're like, it's a reason to get dressed.
And it's
Like
walking distance.
it's not, but I'll take a car because I'll probably have shoes that I want to wear that I haven't worn and take out a purse. Like all these things I've bought, I want to
That
wear.
is
So
true. You
I
can
don't
feel
want
like a
to,
human being again. Yeah.
yeah, and I don't want to wreck like Fendi shoes or something on shitty pavement. So
Understood.
I'll take a car. Plus, though, it might be raining, so I don't know. It
Yeah.
depends. But anyway, it'll just be like, let's pretend to be normal and dress up and care. Like I haven't worn anything that hasn't had a drawstring in months. So it'll be weird to feel
The
like
drawstring.
a button or anything like a bill something. So I just need to
Yeah.
convince myself that I'm still okay. So
Good stuff.
yeah.
All
Well,
right. Well, Friday we can reconvene and
okay. See how it
see
all
how
went.
Thanksgiving went. Yeah.
Ugh,
All
Thanksgiving
right.
2020. Fuck off.
Ah, so stupid. I fucking hate 2020.
I hate it so much. The two
It's
holes need to
repetitive
be.
too. 2020. It's
Yeah,
like it's
like we got it
insisting
the
on
first
itself.
time. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Stupid. All right.
All right.
All right.
Phew.
Talk to you later.